What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan back with another video. I apologize for not getting a video out about the main slate last week. It's just the work schedule didn't add up. But I am back. Should have a video out for Sunday this week. But today we're going over the Thursday night showdown. So this one is a rough one. We have the New York Giants versus the Washington football team. And there's not a lot that looks amazing here. Looking at numbers, looking at a lot of stuff from last year, looking at how the teams played last week. For one, they're on a short week, which is always difficult. Two, there's a couple injuries. It doesn't affect Washington as much. Granted, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the quarterback they planned on having this season, is going to be out for a little bit. Curtis Samuel is still out for Washington. Giants, Evan Ingram is still out. Saquon, looks like he's going to play. One of the beat reporters says he's not being unleashed tonight. So that's something to watch out for as well. And then we have a couple misprices. So let's go over it on both sites. Daniel Jones, highest player on DraftKings at 10-4. Heineke is 10-2. The way I see this, in my opinion, looking at a lot of the stuff, Daniel Jones has not lost to the Washington football team. He's 4-0 against Washington football team. Taylor Heineke, the man just does not go down without a fight. He's one of the guys from the XFL. I always have a place in my heart for those guys because it's awesome what they do. They obviously love the game. And he's a guy that gets an opportunity. He throws the ball a lot. Looked at Taylor Heineke. He has 2 career starts in the NFL. One was last year against Tampa Bay in the playoffs. The other one was in 2018. The guy throws a lot. It's 53 passing attempts, 44 passing attempts. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. But he plays with passion. He wants to win. He wants to prove that he has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. I love it. Daniel Jones, man, I wanna like Daniel Jones, but the way his offensive line plays, it's really hard to like him. And the way that Washington's defensive line is, it's going to be a struggle. Granted, like I said, Daniel Jones has beat the Washington football team all 4 times he's played them. But he also is 0-2 on Thursday night games, so that shrinkage in practice time might be a disadvantage to him this week. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to probably take Tyler Heineke every time over Daniel Jones. Running backs, right there below, Saquon is 10,000. I'm not going to take Saquon as much as I'd like to, and he can have a great game. He can. It's the matchup against Washington's defense, especially that defensive line. I don't like it. I'd rather take Antonio Gibson, who, in my opinion, is going to see a lot. I think when you see those stars, like the Zekes, the Dalvin Cooks, all those guys that had rough week ones, typically they want to get them involved. They want to show that they are their centerpiece. Antonio Gibson is probably another guy that I'm going to pay up for in 9,600. There's a reason why, and I'll get to it at the end of the video. Terry McLaurin, probably going to have a little rough of a matchup. But we've seen games with Taylor Heineke last year when he got in. McLaurin was targeted. McLaurin got all of his points. He got all 10.2 of his fantasy points with Heineke in the game, which means that he likes to target McLaurin, and I'm okay with that. Does have like I said, a good matchup, or not the best matchup with the Giants, their defensive backs. He's probably going to be their main focus of who to cover. But still, it's Terry McLaurin. He looks really good, runs routes really good, and if you saw his catch, he catches really good. Now, here is the fun part of this slate, is you have Kenny Galladay and Sterling Shepard, both literally the same price, 82 and 8,000. For safety reasons, I'm going to go Sterling Shepard here, not because of the price, but because they've been teammates longer. Clearly, I mean, if you saw the game, he did get targeted a lot against Denver, and he succeeded in what he needed to do. At 8,000, I'm probably going to take that. It doesn't mean to totally fade away against Kenny Galladay, because Kenny Galladay can do stuff. It's just Sterling Shepard is proven. So to me, it's a safer pick. Still, if you want to be different, Kenny Galladay is $200 more. And Washington, I mean, they have a good defense. It's just Sterling Shepard gets out quicker, and with how good Washington's defensive line is, pressuring Daniel Jones, I like Sterling Shepard a little more. Now, Logan Thomas, same thing, gets a lot of fantasy points from Taylor Heineke. Saw it last year. Washington does have a lot of fast linebackers, and he's going to be another guy they're going to want to cover. He did good against the Giants last year, but that doesn't mean he's going to do the same thing this year. One of his games was really good. The other one was kind of shaky. So it's definitely worth a watch, but that's with different quarterbacks too. And with Heineke, you've seen games with McKissick in. He's not huge on McKissick as much as I'd like him to be. So Logan Thomas is probably his check down guy. Now, if you want to be completely different and go Darius Slayton here at 6,600 away from the other receivers, it's not totally bad. But he is their third receiver in this. He is their speed guy, the guy that gets down the field. And it's just really hard. Like, I hate to reiterate something, but with how good their defensive line is and putting pressure on the quarterback, it's going to be hard to get that guy deep. So, like I said, Sterling Shepard is probably my favorite out of the three. I'd pay for him. I'm not high on any of the Giants. Like I said, even though Daniel Jones is beating Washington every time, fantasy point, it's not worth it. He had a game last year where he had 13 passing attempts. That's it. The most attempts, or the most targets, was 4. That could easily happen again. Another game Evan Ingram was in, he got 10 targets. Stole a lot of targets out of people. Evan Ingram's not in, but that doesn't mean that the other tight ends that they do have, Kyle Rudolph being one of them at 3,200, doesn't mean that he could take it. So that's definitely something else to watch out for. And we go down, and there's a big price drop from Darius Slayton to the next guy we're taking. Washington football team's defense is definitely in play here. I wouldn't get too much into them because they're 5,600, which is kind of expensive for defense, but it's definitely worth a look. Adam Humphries, 4,800. It's definitely in play. It's probably not my favorite play if you're going to pay down. I think everyone's favorite play, and probably going to be the most owned player, in my opinion, is Diami Brown. He's $1,400. It's an obvious misprice. You look at what he did, and he only got 0.8 points, but he was their number 2 receiver. If you look at some of the games with Heineke last year, easy to see that Sims and other guys other than McLaurin did get targets, and that's what you want. He is their number 2 receiver. If you, for some reason, I don't know, let's just throw this in really quick and say you have Jones, Heineke, Gibson, you're running out of money, then sure, Adam Humphries is the guy to go, but let's put him in really quick and just show you. Like, he leaves you 9,700. Him getting in alone leaves you 9,700 to play with your lineup, which is what you want. You want that cheap guy that's going to allow you to do that, and usually when you're doing that, you're hoping for just a touchdown at 16 or 1,400. That's all you want is a touchdown. For this guy, there's a lot more potential that he can get. Now, somebody from the Giants that I wouldn't really target because there's just other guys that is a better play. And plus, you could pay down $400 for Brown. But Kadarius Toney, somebody that might get stuff. Like I said, J.D. McKissick, I want to like him. I liked him at first. But the numbers with Taylor Heineke, it didn't look like he got much in there. It doesn't mean that they can't go to what they did last year with McKissick, especially against the Giants last year. He had good games, but those were different quarterbacks. Kyle Allen was the quarterback, and Alex Smith were the quarterbacks in those games. So that's definitely something else to watch out for. But yeah, Diami Brown is probably the cheapest guy you want to pay down to. Kyle Rudolph is definitely in play with Evan Ingram being out. Clearly, they target tight ends. It doesn't mean they're going to get the same amount of targets that Evan Ingram would get, but still definitely worth a look. Dustin Hopkins, if you're going to take a kicker, I would go Dustin Hopkins. We're not... Tyler Heineke has got very little quarterback experience in the NFL. Only 2 career starts, like I said. He's only played in 4 games, really. New York doesn't have a bad defense. They have a decent defense. They stop Heineke quite a bit, then Hopkins is probably going to get all those field goals again. He's a very reliable kicker, not like Greg Zuerlein, who, man, missed out on some points. He could have had a big point day last Thursday, still got points, but Dustin Hopkins is definitely your guy. So we'll go look at FanDuel and look at the prices, and it's almost similar. Like, the only difference you see, really, is that Sterling Shepard is more than Kenny Galladay. But yet again, another cheat. You go to FanDuel, and I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but with the price, it's really hard. You put Brown in there, right? You have 13-6 to play with. There is 4 players above that. You could put, and one of them's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but you could put Taylor Heineke in there. You could put Daniel Jones in there. You have 12-5. Guess what? You could still go, and that could be your line right there. So I obviously mispriced for his potential that he has. And this is not a guy that is like the number 3 or number 4 target on Matt Washington. He's number 2. He will be number 2 this week. Obviously, Logan Thomas, 10K. That's not bad at all. Darius Slayton, for the price difference, I'd still rather go Kenny Galladay or Sterling Shepard. More than likely going to get you more of those for sure points. Kyle Rudolph and J.D. McKissick are both at 7K. Adam Humphries is a pay down to 65. So, yet again, you can sprinkle. You don't have to go Diami Brown. You can go Adam Humphries and still get almost all of those guys. Those would probably be, like, I wouldn't go any lower than Diami Brown. I mean, how can you? It's 5,500. But Adam Humphries and Diami Brown are my 2 guys that you can sprinkle some Adam Humphries in there. Even get some J.D. McKissick for how cheap they are. So this one is actually, like I said, it's a lot easier than picking last week because of the prices. There was so much potential and the prices were so high. This one's the complete opposite. There's a lot of value here. So definitely easy to make those multi-lines and get a Daniel Jones line in there, get some Heineke lines in there. Definitely able to mix it up with value. So with that being said, guys, I actually do want to put on my bets for the week that I have right now. I want to try to include this to help people out for betting as well as DFS. So the 2 bets that I have right now that I'm going to have public is Diami Brown over 32.5 receiving yards. And I do have Tyler Heineke at over 244 passing yards. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. Definitely head over to our Discord to get a lot more of this information and plays and stuff that we do there. We have a very cheap package for you guys. So just hoping you guys head over there. But yeah, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one.